Hello to anybody who might be watching. So I just wanted to put a quick video together about the supplies and supply system in ARMA Reforger for anybody who's new. I'm a newer player, and at least the last I looked to try to find a video for info about supplies on ARMA Reforger, wasn't able to find one that was completely really condensed with as much information I was hoping for, so just wanted to throw one together for any other newer players out there. Might be starting off from scratch and don't know much about the supply system. So, supplies in the game are essential. Obviously, one of the main benefits is you can build stuff at different bases around the map. I'm guessing at this point everybody kind of knows the point of the game, but just in case, the point of the game is to go out and take bases and then eventually capture all the main bases, the ones in purple. If you capture 5 of them and hold them for a period, then hey, you win the game. In order to do that, you have to take the bases in between, and as you take these bases, you need to build up certain infrastructure in order to keep moving out. The most important to that being a radio tower, which is this little thing up here, which allows this base to connect to other bases and keeps them within range. That way it can't kind of jump around and skip, from this base all the way to this base if you haven't captured everything in between. So in order to build a radio tower, hold on one second. May I just do that? Don't want that radio chatter in there. So in order to build a radio tower, you need supplies. In order to get supplies, you have to have them generate, or you have to find them at different supply depots or little supply caches around the map. Also, the other benefit of supplies is it allows you to spawn in at bases. So let's say you want to spawn in over here at Montiac. Well, we haven't taken Montiac. Let's say you want to spawn in at Montana. So you can see there's 500 out of 500 supplies. That means that the base cannot hold more than 500 supplies at a time. And every spawn in, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it's around 100, and that actually varies based on, I think, certain infrastructure. Maybe the barracks, or I actually think it's the barracks, cuts down on the amount of supplies it takes to spawn in. So, you need supplies to build up the infrastructure, different buildings on the bases, and to allow your players to spawn in. See, it just dropped down to 200. I'm guessing somebody just spawned there or maybe built something. So, they're a very important, crucial part of the game. One of the main things about supplies is, so you start off at the main operating base each round. That generates supplies at a much faster rate than most of the bases. So you always should have a pretty, look at that, there's 11,000 supplies, that's pretty wild. It can hold 18,000 and it will generate at a much faster rate than others. And that's where you start off, so that allows you to build up infrastructure pretty quickly, and then can also let somebody run supplies via supply truck from the MOB to these other bases, especially in the building in the beginning, to help build up the infrastructure. So you start off at MOB, you build up radio tower here, and the other stuff, and then it allows you to move out to these bases, and then if you want, usually people will grab a couple supplies with them, move out to like Alabama, build a radio tower, and then go from there. As you can see, when you hover over a base, there's red lines that connect to other bases. That means that they're connected by the radio tower. The radio tower itself will help generate supplies. So my understanding is for every radio tower you're connected to, you generate 1 extra supply every 5 seconds. So let's say, let's see Montana here. Montana's got 88 supplies. It's connected to 3 or 2 other bases. I'm a little confused because it looks like the enemy has military hospital, but regardless, let's say it's 97. So let's see how much it generates in a couple. Yep. So you're getting 3. So oh no, you're getting. We got 1, 2, 3. So you get 3 supplies every 5 seconds because it's connected to 3 friendly radio towers. I think it maxes out at 5. So if Montana was connected, let's say we had Pinewood Lake down here and Calvary Hill, and all of them had radio towers, then that means that this would get 5 supplies every 5 seconds. So that's why one of the incentives for building radio towers is it helps generate supplies at different bases. The other benefit, I think one is required to spawn. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure you need a radio tower in order to spawn at that base. So radio tower lets you spawn at the base, and it also helps generate supplies for the base and other surrounding bases. So in addition to that, you can find supply depots and supply caches caches around the base or the map. So if you run around the map, like once you get more into the map in general, you'll see these signs in different random locations. This is actually on a base, but you actually find them out in the wild too. And if you look at them, it'll show you, look, there's 400 and some supplies here. Certain bases, a lot of the main bases, so I mean, here we are at Lamentine, Military Hospital, HQ St. Philippe. I'm not sure about Morton, but most of the main bases, Coastal Base Chotain, there will be supplies on the actual base itself. So that's why we're within the bounds of the base here, and there's a supply cache. So you could just drive, like even if you didn't own this base, you could drive up a supply truck or even any vehicle and grab supplies from here. But because we own this base, and this is within the bounds of the base, those supplies automatically get put into our total supplies at the command tent. So if you take a base, every supply cache that's within the bounds of that base, whatever that magic circle space is, will automatically go into your supplies for the base itself. That's why Lamentine has like 6,000 and some supplies right now, because all these supply caches factor into that. So that's why usually the main bases are much easier to build up quicker. In addition to that, you have supply depots as well, which are these little green things over here. You can find them around the sawmill. There's one over here south of Pinewood Lake. These are guarded by FIA, but they do hold several thousand supplies. So like let's say you're take Figari or you take Pinewood Lake and you want to build them up. You don't have enough supplies and you don't feel like running all the way, you know, back to MOB or some of these other big bases to get them. You can go to a supply depot and grab supplies. However, they have AI, which is the FIA enemies guarding it. Once you take them out, or if you're, I guess, quick enough, you can move in, grab supplies, and move back out and resupply the base. However, once you clear out a supply depot, the AI/FIA will respawn, I think, either every 10 or 15 minutes. So you can clear them out, grab supplies, but you want to be quick. So usually myself, I try to make like 3 trips, give or take. Depends on how close you are to the supply depot, but usually I can make 3 or 4 trips back and forth before the AI respawns. So just be prepared. Like you clear it out, you get supplies, you leave. When you come back, just be careful because at some point the AI will respawn there and you'll have to clear it again. So don't think once you clear it once, it's perfectly good, because you'll get caught off guard, take an RPG, and will ruin your day. That's basically the main points. I don't think there's much else to cover. Some of the other stuff is more basic. Obviously, supply trucks are one of the best ways to move supplies back and forth. I would hope everybody at this point knows how to do that, but those are heavy vehicle depots just in case. If you go to the heavy vehicle depot, you can spawn a supply truck at the depot, which is, you bump over to this one, these trucks here. There's also the armored one, which, I don't know if I skipped over that, but yeah, the armored truck. That has a much lower amount of supplies you can carry. I think it's like maybe 200, 250, whereas the regular supply trucks are between 550 and 600, I believe. So 600 is the max, especially for this basic transport truck. So I love that one because you can load up 600 supplies at a time from somewhere. Other than that, that should be the main point. So you can also put them in a helicopter. I guess I'll throw that out there as well. So the helipad, if you get a helicopter, I think that holds 250. So if you want to bounce around, maybe build up some radio antennas. A lot of people love to do that. Yeah. Otherwise, I think I've covered most of the basics. Hopefully that helps any other new players out there to kind of explain how that works. And especially if you're newer, one of my favorite things to do is actually just to run supplies, which is you just grab a truck, load up at like MOB or after you clear out a depot, and then just run around and build up some infrastructure at some of the bases that your team has already captured. I don't know. To me, it's sort of relaxing just to drive around a truck with all those supplies and bounce around to the bases. Also helps your team out a lot, especially, obviously depends on each round you're playing, but if you have a bunch of other teammates already running around taking bases, it's kind of a fun and relaxing way to help out by building up the bases, let your teammates spawn further out, and also gives them supplies and things and weapons and infrastructure they can use to help them move faster and more efficiently. So anyway, hope that helps. you have any questions, if anybody's actually watching this video, I never know how many watches I'm going to get on a video, if it's going to be 3 or 3,000. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or otherwise enjoy.